What's up, boys? It's Devin, and in this video, I'm gonna break down how to do a lean bulk. So many of you guys have been asking me about this, so I can't wait to give you guys the sauce. So what is even a lean bulk, right? It's mostly when guys wanna pack on 15 to 25 pounds of lean muscle without gaining fat in the process, maintain their abs or get abs in the process, right? So they wanna be jacked, but not blocky, kind of like an athletic build, where they're still lean, but very muscular and maintaining their abs. And what I see is a lot of guys want to get this lean bulk physique, but when they try and bulk, they get chubby, right? They're not able to maintain their abs or develop abs. So there's basically two different body types that I want to cover, and I'm going to break down for you exactly what your next steps need to be and how to achieve 15 to 25 pounds of muscle with no fat gain and still be kind of shredded looking, right? So there's someone who's skinny and somebody who's skinny fat. And I'm gonna go into detail about what these things look like so you can figure out which one you are. But before I get into that, let me give you a little backstory about me. So I grew up small. I was always very small. I mean, I'm not a tall guy, I'm only 5'7". But growing up, I was little, I was puny, right, for most of my life. And when I first got in the gym, luckily my father was a personal trainer, so he was able to teach me how to bulk up the proper way without fat gain. And I put on so much muscle so fast that even my own mom thought that I was on steroids, but really, I just had the right information. And as I went through my life, I was able to maintain a very, very good physique for most of my life, being jacked while still having six packs and having that lean bulk physique. And I know what it feels like when you're in the gym trying to figure it out, because as I got older, I hit a bunch of plateaus, roadblocks, where I saw like newbie gains, but then I wasn't seeing the real progress I deserve. I wasn't seeing the definition I wanted to see. I wasn't as 3D as I wanted to look, and I didn't know anything about nutrition. I was in the gym training 4, 5, 6 days a week sometimes. I was doing cardio, but I wasn't seeing the results I felt like I deserved, But the thing is, I was overtraining. I was overtraining for the physique that I wanted to achieve, and I didn't think my goals were realistic because I was getting discouraged. I saw this vision of myself, muscular, jacked, and lean, but I couldn't figure it out because every time I bulked, I would get chubby. I eventually, it wasn't working, and I started to feel like, okay, maybe my goals aren't realistic. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe it's just not gonna happen. I always thought I needed to bulk and then cut, and I'd be online on YouTube searching through all this shit, looking at all this information, and it would just paralyze me because I would find myself in analysis paralysis where I had so much information that I didn't know what to do with it. And I was trying for so long to achieve that real bulky but lean physique that I almost wanted to quit. I literally was ready to just throw in the towel and give up and just be like a blocky dude the rest of my life. So that being said, I was able to really crack the code on this, master this. That's why I was able to get my clients like Andre, 21 pounds of lean muscle in just a short period of time. My client Sean turned 20 pounds of fat into muscle, and other guys too. So I'm gonna break down how I did it. I'm gonna show you how I was able to get my clients to do it. And we're gonna basically go into what you need to do as far as your next steps to really make this your reality. And I'm gonna cover nutrition, training, cardio, everything that you need to really start getting that lean physique immediately. So the first thing you have to assess is, are you skinny or are you skinny fat? So I'm gonna give you an example. My client Sean, he was skinny fat. He had skinny arms, skinny legs, but he had a little belly fat. So the first thing we did with Sean was put Sean in a deficit, right? We had him eat a gram of protein per pound of body weight, put him in a deficit. He got shredded because he was building muscle through the protein while he was losing weight, so he got himself shredded. Now, Sean's bulking up doing a lean bulk, but we had to get rid of his belly fat first. So in the first picture, Sean was, I think, 180 pounds. In the second picture, He's 160. He literally lost 20 pounds of belly fat. So you might not think you have that much, but you do. He converted that fat into muscle. Now he's lean bulking. Whereas my client Andre, he was skinny. He already had abs, but he was 150 pounds. He was a feather. You know, he was super skinny. So the first thing we did was put him in a surplus, and he's been in ever since. He just started the lean bulk right away. Andre's gained 21 pounds of lean muscle in just 2 months. This is how effective this process is. And even you could look at me. You know, I've been skinny, right? And I was able to put size on, as you can see here. But then there was a stage in my life where I got a little chunky, and I had to do the deficit and then go to bulk. So there's many different ways to skin the cat. You just have to figure out which cat you are. Regardless of which one you are, the first step of what you need to do is you need to figure out what your maintenance calories are. So you need to go to tdee.net. And when you go to tdee.net, you're going to type in your age, your weight, your height, your activity level, and you're going to get your maintenance calories. Okay? Once you have your maintenance calories, then you want to set your macros, right? So if you're skinny, you want to look to pack on roughly about 2 pounds per week. 500 calories a day. And that's the surplus you want to have. So let's write this. So you want to have 1,000 calories surplus. Meaning, each and every day, you want to be in 1,000 calories over your maintenance. So let's say your maintenance is 3,000 calories. You want to be eating 4,000 calories every single day. Because if 3,500 calories is a pound, right? If you're eating 1,000 a day, that would get you roughly 2 pounds per week of gain. And here's the thing when you're doing a lean bulk. You don't want to just eat a bunch of food and go crazy with the bulk, because that's how you put on fat. But when you add the weight on slowly and you train the way I'm going to tell you, it won't convert to fat. So if you're skinny fat, what I would say, honestly, the first thing that you want to do if you're skinny fat is you want to remove all body fat. That's my go-to. So believe it or not, if you're skinny fat, this is what you need to do for the first phase. You need to be in a deficit of 500 calories. You actually need to cut if you're skinny fat. You don't need to bulk. I know you want to be bulky and put on muscle, but here's the thing. When you're in this deficit, what it's going to do is it's going to remove the body fat. Maybe you got a belly and your skinny arms. We got to get rid of the belly first, because we want to get you to this part. I'd rather you be skinny first. So deficit of 500 calories, and you're going to do this for roughly, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks. Do this for 2 to 3 weeks. See if that belly goes away. Once the belly's gone, then we go into this phase. But here's the difference. If you were skinny fat, you're going to start with 500 calorie surplus, putting on 1 pound per week. Okay, so if you're skinny fat, the first thing you need to do, go to TDEE, get your maintenance. Then you want to set a deficit of 500 calories, roughly be on a cut for about 2 to 3 weeks, get rid of that belly, and then you want to go into a 500 calorie surplus. Now, what you need to do is obviously track this. I like my FitnessPal for tracking. So go to MyFitnessPal and you're going to track all of this, right? You're going to put your calories in, your proteins, carbs, and fats. Now, here's the most important part when it comes to your macros, your protein, carbs, and fats. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. If you're in either of these phases, this is the only thing that you need to know. You have to focus on protein, because without protein, you cannot build muscle. When you're in the gym and you're tearing your muscle fibers, you recover, right? When you're recovering, those muscle fibers are repairing and they grow back bigger, but they cannot grow back and grow without protein. Protein builds the muscle. So, whatever your goal weight is, let's say you're 150 pounds right now, you want to get to 180, you're going to eat 180 grams of protein. You want to eat 1 gram per pound of body weight based off your desired body weight, not your current, your desired. So if your goal is 180, you're going to eat 180 grams of protein. So 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight. As far as carbs and fats, I don't care. Whatever equation you want to do with your carbs and fats that equals you being in a 500 calorie surplus or you being in a 1,000 calorie surplus, I don't care. So I'm going to break down one little example so that you could actually like see it, right? So let's just say you're skinny fat. You go to TDE.net, you find out your maintenance calories is 3,000. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to set your calories to 2,500, right? And what you're going to do is eat 1 G per pound of body weight. You're going to do this for 2 to 3 weeks. Then you're going to switch it to 3,500 calories. You're going to eat, let's say you're 150 pounds, you want to get to 180. You're going to eat 180 G of protein every day, right? And you're going to do this phase, okay? You're going to do this phase for a minimum 2 to 3 months. 2 to 3 months. This is the thing. You cannot assess if something is working or not working until you're absolutely consistent with it for 2 to 3 months. When you get to this point, you can audit where you're at and make adjustments. 2 to 3 months. Now, I'm going to give you another example if you're this guy, right? Okay, let's just say that, again, your maintenance is 3,000 calories, you're 150 pounds, you want to get to 180. What you're going to do is you're going to eat 4,000 calories a day. And again, your goal body weight is 180, so you're going to eat 180 grams of protein per day. And you're going to do this for 2 to 3 months. There you go. So this is what it looks like. Again, let me break it down. For a lean bulk, find out your maintenance calories, right? Then if you're skinny fat, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut for 2 to 3 weeks. And then you're going to start your lean bulk. If you're just skinny, you're going to start your lean bulk immediately. Okay? If you're just skinny, you're going to be in a 1,000 calorie surplus, eating 1 gram per pound of desired body weight, and you're going to commit for 2 to 3 months. You're not going to deviate from this plan. You're going to do exactly this. If you're skinny fat, you're going to go to TDEE.net. You're going to go to TDE.net. You're going to find your maintenance calories, and then you're going to eat in a deficit of 500 calories for 2 to 3 weeks. Get rid of some of that body fat, and then you're going to start your lean bulk after 2 to 3 weeks, where you're going to be eating in a 500 calorie surplus. Okay? So pretty self-explanatory. Now you know exactly what your next steps need to be if you're skinny or skinny fat. Now that you know that, here's what we're going to do. Let's talk about training. So these are going to be the same, so let's just do this. Training. You are going to train a hypertrophy split. Hypertrophy means optimizing for muscle growth. You are going to get this on ChatGPT. When you're training, you want to make sure that you are training for strength. You need to be increasing the weight every single week. So you're training progressive overload. So every single week in the gym, let's say you did bench press 10 reps for 100 pounds. The next week, you're gonna try bench press for 10 reps for 105 pounds. You wanna continuously keep increasing the weight, because if you wanna get big, you need to get strong. So go to ChatGPT, ask them for a hypertrophy training split, training progressive overload, and they'll work this all out for you. Don't worry, it'll give you a good split. And your split is gonna be a 4-day split. You're only gonna lift weights 4 days out of the week. You do not want to go 5, 6, or 7. Because in order to put size on, you have to really prioritize your recovery. So, literally you're gonna work out for 4 days. If you're working out in the gym 5, 6, 7 days, you are overtraining. You're not giving the muscle enough time to recover, and especially if you're trying to put size on, remember, you need to be in a surplus. So if you're in there 5, 6, 7 days a week, you're burning so many calories, it's gonna take you forever to bulk up. So you're only working out 4 days a week. Your split's gonna be a hypertrophy split training for progressive overload. ChatGPT is gonna write this whole freaking thing out for you, and it's gonna be easy to follow. So now you know your macros. You know that you're tracking them every single day in MyFitnessPal. Don't miss. And this is gonna be how you train. And basically what's gonna happen is, this whole process is 2 to 3 months long. 2 to 3 months long. Once you get to 2 to 3 months, you can assess. If you haven't gained enough size, if you feel like the scale is not moving, okay, well then maybe you go from 500 to 1,000. Same thing, if you go to 2 or 3 months and you feel like you didn't gain enough size, then maybe you go to 1,500, but you need to at least give yourself data to work off. But you can't have data if you're inconsistent, right? So if you want to see the full potential of your body, if you're tired of training 4, 5, 6 days a week in the gym, not seeing those results you want to become a confident man so that you can respect yourself, be proud of yourself, attract women, whatever it is that you desire, this is your method. This is your formula. This is exactly what you need to follow. As far as cardio, by the way, don't worry about cardio. You don't really need it. You can do cardio, but if you want to do cardio, I want to warn you, cardio needs to be steady state. No more than 130 BPM. So you could walk or low intensity bike. So you want to do steady state cardio if you're going to do cardio. Now cardio can help you with metabolism and digestion, so it can be beneficial, but you don't need it. If you're going to do cardio, no jogging, none of that shit. You're either going to walk or you're going to do a steady state bike cardio, meaning you're pedaling nice and easy, nothing too intense on the bike. No more than 130 beats per minute. You want to be roughly at about 120 to 130 beats per minute. That's called the fat burning zone. If you go over that, it's going to eat too much into your muscle. You don't want to go there. So you could do cardio. It's not going to affect your muscle growth, but you need to be careful that you don't overdo it. All right? And let me tell you something. If you want a six-pack, because this is part of the process, you want to have abs. Let me add this in. Strength, train, abs. You need to strength train your abs. So in your program, incorporate that you're going to be literally adding weight to your ab workouts. You need to be strength training your abs. You need to be actually working them. Like not just doing body weight shit. You need to be adding weight on the rack, doing the machine crunches, working your abs. But let me tell you something. Just working out your abs don't get you shit. If you don't have the nutrition dialed in, nothing else I told you is gonna work. You have to master your nutrition. So focus on protein, make sure your calories are correct. And as long as you master the nutrition, you don't have to worry about anything else. Honestly, if you don't have this, stop working out. You need to master your nutrition. You have to get it right. So if you do all these things, you're gonna have the most amazing results that you've ever had in your life. So I really hope that this was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, send me a message on Instagram. I'm gonna put my Instagram right here. DM me if you have any questions whatsoever. But if you like the video, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna keep giving you more sauce, but this is it, boys. It's very simple and plain. So I look forward to seeing you guys just lean, bold, jacked as fuck. And yeah, I'll see you boys in the next one.